Hey, this is Seth with InDemandCareer.com. I show people how to get jobs in digital marketing with no previous experience or education. And in this video, I want to share my job interview insights about how to have a better performance and feel more comfortable during a job interview. So I'm just going to get right into it. The first tip I have for you guys is to let go of the outcome. I know this sounds crazy, but it is the most effective way to be in a job interview. I actually wanted to give you a clip from Bryan Cranston. Is a great inspiration, the actor who, the star of Breaking Bad. He has this, I've seen a lot of his interviews where he talks about how when he would go to an audition, what changed his life, because an audition for an actor is a job interview, what changed his life was he stopped trying to get the part. He developed a very zen mindset about his relationship to himself, the part, and the people who were casting. And most people don't really think about this before they go into a job interview. Just assume, well, I want this job. And he has a really great quote about wanting a job.
So I used to think that, well, I'm going in there to try to get a job. But when you put yourself in a position of need or want, what happens is that you relinquish power and control over to some unknown entity. It just evaporates out of you if you need and want something. You are not in a position of control. If you need and want that job, it'll show. It'll seep out, and people will be able to tell that there's a need or want there. Nobody wants to hire someone who actually needs a job. We want to hire people who are confident in what they're doing and saying and selling of themselves.
But give up your attachment to the outcome. Really make it a point before the interview to give up your attachment to the outcome and act like you're going into the interview to learn and to grow and to meet new people, and take getting the job completely out of it. And listen to the Bryan Cranston interview. It's great. He's great when he speaks about this stuff. The second thing, which is along the same lines, is about needing the job, is to shift your focus to the interviewer and the company. Okay. I have one of my mentors used to do hiring. He was involved in hiring with big companies, like Fortune 500 companies, and he would say how, it's exhausting when you're interviewing people, because it's like they're just talking about themselves and they're full of needs and fears and concerns about getting the job, but they don't care about the person interviewing them. He said, I've interviewed thousands of people. No one ever said, well, what do you want? So it's also similar to dating. If you go out on a date and you just talk about yourself for like 3 hours, or think about yourself and what you want, you don't care about the other person, it's not going to be a very good date. In the interview, if you come in with really putting yourself in the shoes of the person doing the interview, imagine what it's like to try to fill this position. What is the company that they're hiring for dealing with? How can you contribute? Are you a good fit? And there's a lot of good videos out there on YouTube about questions you should ask your employers. You should put together some questions to ask your employers about what you can do for them. What is their vision? What are their challenges? And when you take your attention off of your own needs and your own ego, it's also much more charismatic and appealing to talk to someone like that. And you should genuinely be interested. They're going to obviously be asking you questions about yourself, but I'm just talking about the mind. Again, this is sort of an internal mindset that you're coming into the interview with. It's not, if you shift away from the attachment to the outcome, I need this job, and then what can I do for this company, then you're gonna start feeling more relaxed.
Do you know the feeling when you give something to another person? Let's say it's a present, and you're really excited because your friend is going to really love this present. They needed a scarf and they're complaining about how cold it is, and here it is. And they open it up and they, oh my God, this is what I need. It makes us feel great. Whether you're donating to a charity or actually on a soup line or helping someone, it makes us feel empowered to give, right? That's the same point of view you need to take into that room. I'm here to give you something of value. Now this is where it gets a little tricky, because you can't look at it in a conceited sort of self-centered way. My gift is so valuable to you, man. You are so lucky. I'm giving you a gift. You're welcome. It's not at all that. It is a quiet confidence.
Guys, I just wanted to jump over to my LinkedIn profile for 1 second to illustrate my next and final tip, which is to be enthusiastic in your job interview. The first 2 tips, if you give up your attachment, if you put your focus and attention on what you can contribute and what the company's needs are, not your needs, you will naturally be more relaxed, and it will give you the freedom and the space to geek out on whatever it is that you are genuinely passionate about. And I'm showing you this interview from one of my students, Nick. I'm going to actually cut over to that clip in a second, because Nick was such a great example of this. When he would go into a job interview, he was just enthusiastic, genuinely geeking out with his interviewers about digital marketing. And whether you're in digital marketing or some other field, if you give yourself that permission to be enthusiastic about whatever the job is, it will make a huge difference. It is so refreshing. If you are, like I've interviewed people for jobs, it is so grueling and tedious. And when you meet a candidate who is giving up their attachment to the outcome, focused on my needs, my company's needs, not themselves, and then brings enthusiasm, even if they don't have as much experience, it's a much better interview. So check out Nick just talking about his experience in interviews, and just notice his vibe. And that's the kind of vibe you want to have.
Because when I would speak about digital marketing, I would see myself like in an out-of-body experience. I'm looking at myself talking to these people, and they're like, yo, man, you perfect. And I'm like, wow, really? They don't know that I've been doing it for like 6 months. They think that I've been doing it for a long time. When I say how long I've been doing it, they don't get intimidated. Oh, well, you haven't been doing it for so long. They're intrigued because they're like, you only been doing this for like 6 months, and this is how much you know already?
At the end of the day, I would like for you to have fun at your job interview. That is the point. If you go out into the world of job interviews with this attitude, especially during these times, you will have success. You'd be like a light in the darkness for even the people doing the interviewing. So anyway, guys, that's my video. I hope you found this useful. If you have comments or questions, please leave them below, and I will see you soon.